Recently, controversial theories have emerged about Tyler Robinson, who shot Charlie Kirk. Many of them are quite brutal, for example, this image. Here is Tyler Robinson at Dairy Queen, but this photo is quite unusual. He was caught by security cameras at the Dairy Queen about 15 to 17 minutes away by a car from the incident scene, from the scene of Charlie Kirk's murder. And according to reports, Tyler Robinson was seen acting quite normal, quite calm, just 6 hours after the murder. This would have occurred 6 hours after Charlie Kirk's death. Just imagine that. Here we see the map of the Dairy Queen they're talking about, right here. The university is just 15 minutes away by the shortest route. This is the university, the marked point, and here we can see that through this route you can get to the Dairy Queen. There's also this other alternative route where you could reach the same point in 17 minutes. But the issue with this image is that Candace Owens leaked it, right? And honestly, look, in recent years, let's just say she's not exactly my favorite person, okay? I mean, I don't really trust Candace Owens' word, honestly, although it's something to keep in mind. However, there are some interesting questions. Don't you think it would be really dumb, really stupid on Tyler Robinson's part? To wear exactly the same clothes as here? Do you realize it's exactly the same clothes as in one of his leaked photos? It's interesting, right? But the main question is, why is there a Superman sign here? Superman? Yeah, Superman. The movie, guys, you see? The murder of Charlie Kirk happened on September 10th, and Superman? The movie premiered a long time ago, but I only recently began investigating. And this is part of a Dairy Queen promotion that expires on September 30th of this year. Check out the sign right behind Tyler Robinson. It's an ad, do you see it? Well, it turns out it's this one. And yes, this one is quite a bit newer. I mean, it's impossible for this photo to have been taken 2 months ago when Superman was premiering. We should also clarify that this branch is real, that everything you're seeing here is true, it's reliable. In fact, so you can get a sense of it, we can see another shot here. Someone went and took a picture of the Dairy Queen branch. And take a look at this, A camera, and the camera is pointing right at the spot where Tyler Robinson appears. Do you see that? Is it pointing right here? Incredible. Wow, this is really interesting. In fact, if we look at the following here, just look at this. Look at the blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks, right? Do you see that? The 7th block is the last one that's not attached to Superman's sign. Just look. Here we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How is the separation? And with Tyler Robinson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where the little foot of the Superman sign doesn't fall, that's the 7th one. They all match and are the same color. Even look at how the shadow falls on the first block. Just look at this. Here, look, it's exactly the same shadow. Incredible. Therefore, we can confirm that what is behind Tyler Robinson is completely real. However, there is one very important thing. The current artificial intelligence models, especially Gemini 2.5 with Nano Banana, I believe they have the ability to take a shot or an image of Tyler Robinson and put him here. And keep everything in the background exactly the same. I think it's likely. I think it's not impossible. Honestly, I think it's not at all impossible to do something like that with current artificial intelligence models. In fact, someone took the scene, modified it, and put Joe Biden eating an ice cream. It didn't turn out perfectly. How does Joe Biden look? However, just so you get an idea that it's not that difficult and it's not impossible. Put Tyler Robinson in this context, especially if you have the original image and all you do is put Tyler Robinson on top of that image. So it's not impossible, is it? But anyway, obviously, just so you can get an idea, this is an image that has gone very, very viral in the last few hours and was shared by Candace Owens. However, neither the FBI nor anyone else has confirmed it yet. Recently, something new emerged about Tyler Robinson's talks with his trans boyfriend. And the thing is, the conversation is just too perfect to be true. So, a lot of people are starting to think that this conversation is fake. It's fake. But careful, not in the way you think, not in the way you imagine. This conversation was leaked by the FBI. The FBI itself shared this conversation between Tyler Robinson and his boyfriend. So, does this mean the FBI is lying? People, that's not the theory they have. The theory that has been widely spread on social media is that maybe, let's see, do you remember that Tyler Robinson made a phone call? We know the FBI has video of Tyler Robinson on the phone with someone before, and if I'm correct, after Charlie Kirk's murder? He is talking to someone who clearly knew what was going on and was aware of what was happening. That's why the FBI believes that Tyler Robinson has an accomplice, and that's why they're investigating several pages and several groups. Therefore, the theory that people have is that these conversations are real but fake. Yes, just as you heard. The theory that people have is that these conversations exist. They're on both Tyler Robinson's and her trans boyfriend's cell phones. And that the schedule can be verified. That these are 100% real conversations, but in reality, it's a fake conversation. It's a conversation planned between Tyler Robinson and her boyfriend. People think the boyfriend is involved. People think this conversation is made to save the boyfriend, so that the boyfriend is not declared guilty or an accomplice and gets away with it, so he goes free. And that the only person who pays with the death penalty will probably be Tyler Robinson. That's the theory that many people have. This reminds me of an episode of Breaking Bad, the most famous one of all, Ozymandias. You know, the most famous one when everything falls apart, when everything collapses. Alert! Spoiler! In that Breaking Bad episode, something similar happens to what would have occurred between Tyler Robinson and his boyfriend. That's because Walter White nearly incriminates himself. Walter White calls his wife Skyler on the phone, and in that call, he comes across as an abusive and violent man. This is very important because Skyler was being interrogated by the Drug Enforcement Administration. Just imagine, she was being questioned. So in this way, Walter White takes all the blame for what happened, all the blame for the drug empire, everything, leaving Skyler legally protected. When, for anyone who has seen Breaking Bad, they'll know that Skyler was an accomplice. Look, here are Walter White and Skyler. With this mountain of money, Skyler even worked at the laundromat with Walter White and did money laundering with him. I mean, just so you understand how crazy it is. Now, obviously, I couldn't argue that maybe Skyler really was a victim of Walter White. Well, even so, legally, in the eyes of the authorities, Skyler was an accomplice. She never called the police, never called the Drug Enforcement Administration, and she even helped her husband run this entire criminal empire. Skyler herself did it, even if she was pressured or felt forced. In the eyes of the authorities, Skyler was an accomplice. In fact, right here, they tell us on Google, in Ozymandias, Walter White doesn't directly incriminate himself to Skyler, but makes a calculated, manipulative call, taking full blame for his empire. His intention is to legally protect Skyler and his family, making them seem uninvolved in his crimes so they don't face legal consequences. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Robinson's case is very similar to her boyfriend's. I have this theory, and many people agree, which is why I'm sharing it with you. That's being widely discussed in the United States, with many people proposing this theory. When Tyler Robinson realized he had no other option and saw his face on television, did seeing the weapon on television make him think, I have no other option? Will I definitely go to jail or die? So, to protect my boyfriend, I'm going to send these messages along with him. We're going to have this exchange of messages. They probably prepared it, maybe using artificial intelligence, CHAD, Generative Pre-trained Transformer, or Gemini, I'm not sure. And in this way, they prepared the messages so that Tyler Robinson's boyfriend would seem innocent. That's the theory that many people have in the United States, but I don't know what you think. And by the way, in recent days, several videos had surfaced where Starbucks employees said they couldn't write Charlie Kirk's name on the cups for political reasons, because he was a political figure. Well, Starbucks has released an update saying that there are no longer any restrictions on the name Charlie Kirk. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I would really like to know what you think. What are your opinions about all these theories? We will keep you updated on what happens. For now, things have calmed down a bit, but I don't think it will stay that way forever. I mean, I honestly think a lot more things will come out in the next few days. Please stay tuned to the channel and I'll see you next time.